Dresden has accumulated and has a wonderful set of basic scientists from all different disciplines. The great thing that brought me to Dresden was the fact that this was a very, very cooperative, collaborative community, from the basic scientists right through to the clinician and the patient. Everyone was working together for the common good of what they wanted to achieve. And I think that's what's been very, very special about Dresden. The CRTD is not just one disease. It is a lot of people in different diseases come together and they collaborate and cooperate. And I think that's what makes Dresden and the CRTD something very special in the world. There are different ways we can use the stem cells. We can use them to make new cells that we can put back into people, and there are groups here in the CRTD who are trying to do that. And there is this other way to learn, take the stem cells or make stem cells from people who have a disease where there is a genetic problem, for example, some of the blindness diseases, for example, and then take the cells and use them to understand how we can correct that, how we can fix that genetic defect, so that we can then make cells for those people that work, or find drugs that are going to help their sight, for example, in the case of blindness. So stem cells are really a fundamental part of what we do and study here in the CRTD. Many of us are driven by the fact that we really want to give something back to the people. We see or have seen people who have these diseases. We know people who have these diseases. And it's very important for us, that drives us, that we're able to contribute something that might help these people with disease. I work on type 1 diabetes, affects children. For me, my absolute goal is to prevent type 1 diabetes. And I think that we are scientists. That's what we do. We work in the lab, our eyes are down under the microscope, looking down in the Petri dish, but our hearts are for the people who have disease, and our wishes to be successful, of course, be a Nobel Prize winner, solve the disease, but also for the people out there. We know in type 1 diabetes that it is the immune system that kills its own cells that produce insulin, and that's the end-stage disease. But we also know from our research that this process starts many, many, many years earlier, when the children are very small, babies. And the Frederick study is a great example of how we've taken what that science has told us and brought it into a screen, a genetic test, where we can identify children who have a much higher risk to develop type 1 diabetes. We can then look for signs of when they start the disease process, and then we can try to stop that whole process from going to the end stage of disease. The CRTD is a melting pot of scientists and doctors who are trying to bring regenerative medicine to the patient, from the regenerative organism to the patient.